Hello and welcome. And this is a Dhanteras weekend, and all eyes are on gold prices. Prices of the yellow metal are in recovery mode following a lackluster second quarter, with prices dropping to its lowest levels since March 2021. However, a weakening rupee and concerns of a looming recession could mean that gold could yet again show some favor, with more investors looking for safe haven bets. This may provide a good buying opportunity going into this auspicious period. The high price of physical gold could be a deterrent to many who are looking to buy the yellow metal this Dhanteras. However, buying gold has never been easier, even with purchases as small as a rupee completely possible with digital gold. No making cost, purity concerns, in addition to the convenience of online transaction, is making digital gold a go-to for many gold buyers. So should you buy into it too? Joining me now to discuss this and much more is Vikas Singh. He's CEO and Managing Director at MMTC PAMP. Gaurav Mathur is Managing Director at Safe Gold. Thank you so much for joining us on show today. Also joining us will be Ashish Pete, who's Chairman at the All India Gem and Jewellery Domestic Council. And we have a woman on board as well, and a gorgeous one. Vaishali Banerjee is Managing Director, India at Platinum Guild International. But I want to first of all start with the digital gold here, because Dhanteras and last couple of years we have seen that digital gold actually tends to see a lot of favor among younger crowd, millennials, and even others who want to invest and do not want to hold gold do go for digital gold there. Vikas, first of all to you, and a very happy Dhanteras and Diwali to you. How are you looking at the kind of growth participation that we have seen come in for this space?
Hi, Manisha, and a very happy Diwali, Dhanteras to you and your viewers. We've been seeing a very sharp uptake across all our products, including digital gold, in the last few months. It's actually quite a welcome relief. I think, in a way, just to hit a few macro points before I answer your question,
Sure.
COVID has possibly really tested a lot of the management theories that we've had in the past, so we know that well. For example, could you have ever imagined that inflation rate in US and UK would ever be higher than India? So, that's a very big one. Fed increasing interest rates 75 basis points at a time, quite obviously having people ask a lot of questions they've never asked before. And in this context, as always, the so-called safe haven is where people tend to move to. If you see any of our product portfolio, whether it is bullion, which is typically the kilo bars, which are bought by jewelers, whether it is the consumer minted bars, which is the smaller grammage points, or it is digital gold or silver across the board, we're seeing a huge jump up in demand. As a matter of fact, we are struggling to try and keep pace with it and ensure that there is increased
Okay.
stock availability across the board. So it's looking good. I think it's a good time to be participating. It's also auspicious. It's typically a time when Indians are engaging with the precious metal. It's festive, so I think things are looking good. Yes, thank you.
Vikas, would you say that there's a lot of awareness now into the market, and as you said, there's a lot of growth? Is there a number to it that you would want to assign?
We are normally numbers, Manisha, only so much, but it is a nice high double-digit growth. The very
Okay.
fact that I'm struggling to meet demand basically tells you that that number could have been much higher. But across the board, even if you get into digital gold in particular, Manisha, the engagement scores continue to run into close to millions. We have ticket sizes during this period typically jumping up. So if you had average ticket sizes in the past of 800 to 1,000, they tend to at least go up by a factor of 3 to 5 times, depending upon where the customer is coming in from. So across the board, if you see the numbers are reassuringly high. I would just sum it up by saying we're doing record volumes and asking for more. So let's just
I'm sure.
let's just hope we'll be able to cater to the demand.
Because I do understand that there has been a lot of tie-ups with jewelers as well. How is that as a as a business or a segment working for you?
Once again, very well, Manisha. I think what happens is everyone is wanting to specialize in the area or the space that they do the best. And typically, when you start creating a digitech ecosystem from a gold and silver point of view, or also customized thematic coins and bars, which is typically what we specialize in, the jeweler ecosystem finds that there is tremendous value that MMTC PAM can provide to them, and they don't need to do a parallel investing coming on these tracks. So from this point of view, this is something which is ramped up once again very well. And we see this as a main, a crucial pillar of our strategy going forward. So we will continue to expand reach across the jeweler ecosystem and cater to and provide them with products which cater to their requirements.
Absolutely, point well taken. I'll get Gaurav into this conversation as well. So, Gaurav, what is the kind of numbers that you're anticipating this Diwali, especially because last Diwali was the best one in 25 years, and this one has seen the expectations at least are quite strong.
So broadly, I'm happy to share some numbers. We've been roughly, more than doubling in size every year. So I think this year, on an average, we're running about 60%, 55, 60% higher than we were last year in terms of volumes. And on Dhanteras, on the day specifically, I think we normally do about a 10 to 12x jump. So if you were to do 10 crores a day normally of sales, on a Dhanteras, we will do somewhere between 100 to 120 crores in sales. Last year was record. Obviously, I think COVID and digitization really boosted digital gold. So we think awareness is much higher this year. So, fingers crossed, we should do better than the 10, 12x that we normally get as a jump on Dhanteras.
Gaurav, what is the way to reach out to people? I mean, I do understand that there is awareness now. Millennials, younger crowd, new investors do not want to hold gold. They want to go the online way. So how are you reaching out to your target audience?
I think for us, our being a digitally native company, most of our marketing and our outreach is also through digital channels. So be it through influencers, I think largely through influencers, and I'd say 70 to 75% of our efforts are through influencers and through social media, and maybe 20-25% of our marketing spend will be on either brand marketing or co-marketing with one of our 110 or 120 distribution partners that we have.
And Gaurav, what is the ticket size that you're seeing in this space?
So ticket size, I think similar as Vikas had mentioned, we see about a 900 rupee average ticket size. And just to put that in perspective, when digital gold started maybe 3-4 years ago, our ticket sizes used to be 250, 300 rupees. So we've seen that secular growth as more and more people trust the product and they get aware of it. So there's an overall trend of ticket size going up from maybe 250 to about 900 rupees. And on Dhanteras, again, we see it's not maybe 3 to 5x, but we see maybe it doubles to about 2 to 2,500 rupees for us on festive occasions.
Because how long do people really hold when they buy on digital gold, and what would you recommend?
So typically, again, Manisha, this is something that you would, it's like a medium-term horizon is like with any typical investment. So there will be cyclical movements. For example, if you take the last year, I think, just about every form of investment has taken about a 7 to 10% decline. So financial markets, Forex, commodities, you name it. I mean, these are not usual times. So there again, from that point of view, trying to take buy sell decisions over short time horizons, I don't think that would be a recommended course of action. Typically a 3 to 5 year time horizon is what would always be recommended. And interestingly, from a gold silver investment point of view, that's how the consumers are really looking at it also. So whether it's physical or digital gold, ticket sizes, it's almost like an SIP. You buy when you can, you buy on dips. India typically buys on dips. If you see the Western markets, by and large, they buy when the graph is going up, which is a little surprising. So India that way is a lot more savvy. So now's the time when the market's taken a bit of a dip, and suddenly and it's also festive. The right conditions for purchase, and the demand is going up. So we would always recommend a medium-term horizon for you to evaluate, the investment in this category.
Vikas, you started with macro background, and what are you expecting then in the next 1 year? Because it looks as certain as uncertain rather as it did a year ago.
So yeah, absolutely. I think regardless of what's happening around in the world, I think the Indian factors are thankfully looking very, very reassuring. So inflation under control, growth coming in, you don't have risks of a stagflationary situation. By and large, demand is healthy. All sectors that you look at, there is a good resurgence underway. Monsoons have not been too bad. If anything, they may have been on the higher side. So we would actually expect in the Indian context, this buoyancy to continue. As a matter of fact, all our preparations are to try and ensure that going forward, we are well prepared to meet this demand. And sourcing globally is not that easy. And therefore, preparations when you are moving metal gold in tons on a monthly basis, I think that becomes kind of critical at this point in time.
Well, on that note, we'll go for a very short break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll tell you on what to buy. We'll also talk about the jewelry and the platinum sector. Welcome back. Let's go straight across to Shilpa Ranipeta, who's at Zaveri Bazaar, Mumbai, and get a mood check on ground this Dhanteras.
Gold jewelry and gold bars are also something that see peak sales during the festive season. And I'm here at Mumbai's jewelry hub, Zaveri Bazaar, that is buzzing with activity as consumers flock stores to buy gold jewelry. Now, last year saw the best ever sales for jewelers in the last 25 years. But the World Gold Council has said that this year, while the sales would be better in the festive season compared to the rest of the year, sales may not be as good as last year. But the picture on ground here suggests otherwise. While experts expect inflation to have some impact on gold buying in smaller towns, Mumbai's Zaveri Bazaar is already seeing bumper sales not just because of Dhanteras and the festive season, but also because of the upcoming wedding season that is expected to be much larger after 2 years of lull. And this is also aided by relatively lower gold prices. And customers this time are buying more ornaments rather than gold coins, something that's been boosted by the hallmarking norms that came into place last year. In Mumbai, Shilpa Ranipeta.
All right. Shilpa, thank you so much for that. And that does look a lot buzzing. Coming to you, Mr. Pete. And yes, there's a lot of crowd. People are thronging out to buy. And the good point, as we've been mentioning as well, that the prices are off its highs in this year. Is that an impetus for people to go out and buy?
Absolutely. Happy Dhanteras to you,
too.
your team and the viewers. Yes, during pandemic, we have all seen rates of 56, 57,000. So anything under 50,000 is a good number from the consumer's point of view, because they have themselves set a benchmark of 50,000. If the prices go under 50,000, they rush in to buy. So the prices have supported the market this year, and I am seeing a lot of buzz in last 10 days specifically towards Dhanteras and the ensuring Diwali and the wedding season. So the buzz is good.
Last year was the best in 25 years. Are we looking to break that record this time around?
My personal sense is that we will match last year's number.
Okay.
And if at all, maximum 5% uptick over last year's numbers. Yes.
We just had a discussion on digital gold. Would you say that since people or buyers have various ways of buying gold now, how do you look at that categorization?
I think this digital gold is currently there for early adopters, so to say, which is only 1.5% of the overall market. But gold has a substantial store of value, insurance and all other things that go with it for people who are uninitiated to the financial markets or they are not financially educated, so to say. For them, gold is the best asset that they can hold, enjoy and use in times of uncertainty. So the physical gold will always have its benefits and positives. And there's one interesting thought, you being a lady, I would say, that I have heard is gold is the best woman empowerment that you can see anywhere.
All right,
so we talk about woman empowerment, but a lady who has gold with her, she feels empowered and she can take her own decisions. So gold is important from that angle too.
Okay, I would agree with that to an extent. Also talk to us about on what are people buying right now? What would you advise them? Are people buying new, or do you think a lot of exchange gold is also coming into the market?
See, when the gold rate was around 30,000-35,000, we used to see about 30% of old gold coming back and getting recycled.
Okay.
But as the prices have kept up going up, we are seeing almost 45% of old gold coming back into the system.
Okay.
So that percentage has gone
Increased.
up. But during Muhurat days, that old gold reduces and people tend to buy
New
fresh gold. What they are buying coins right from half gram to 100 grams. As a Muhurat buying because it is auspicious days. They are buying wearable jewelry which the lady can wear every day going to office and things like that. And looking forward to the wedding season, even the bridal and heavy jewelry is also moving. So both the ends of the spectrum are moving. Yeah.
What would you advise a buyer? I do understand that jewelry always is a hot favorite, and that is how India really buys it, because 70% of our gold buying still happens in jewelry. Right. How has this year been different from last year or pre-COVID? I do assume that every year as we go ahead, you have to reinvent, you have to offer something new. So what is different this year?
We have to realize that this year has 2 additional months.
Huh.
because last year 2 months were lost because of. So, business wise people are, as it is getting 2 extra months of business. But in terms of what is moving or what things are going to move, I think people are buying coins, as I said to you, and even diamonds is finding favor,
Okay.
and color stone are augmenting the demand.
What is the age group that you see coming in to buy into the markets? I'm assuming there are people who sit at home. There's an online way of buying gold and jewelry as well now.
Right.
How do you look at those age groups looking at Dhanteras?
Right. Consumer preferences or buying patterns have changed over a period of time.
Yes.
Earlier, for a wedding, you would get a party of 12 people, but there used to be one decision maker. Now, the lady herself is consumer as well as customer. She is the decision maker. So, things have changed. Your double income households have gone up.
Sure.
Women are earning money at an early age, so they are also starting buying. So, earlier the target audience was 30 to 45 a series, which has moved down a little to 27, 28 till 45.
Okay.
And the absolute youngsters who are just out of college are slowly accepting the digital way of purchasing.
Right.
So, at that age bracket, digital gold is moving, and as 27, 28 plus is moving into the physical gold.
All right. So there's definitely is a pattern change here. But it's not all about gold, because platinum seems to be picking up as well, especially when it comes to men jewelry. And that's exactly what we will talk about with Vaishali. Vaishali, hi. Thank you for waiting by, and many happy festivities to you as well. I've been talking to a lot of participants into the market, and they do tell us that men's jewelry buying is on a rise. Platinum jewelry really seems to be picking up right now. What are the trends that you're watching this year?
Hi, Manisha, and happy Dhanteras and Diwali to you, the rest of the members of the panel, and to all your viewers. And yes, I'm also very happy to report back to you that yes, platinum jewelry is extremely buoyant. It has been a good year. Every quarter has delivered very high growth. And you're right, men's jewelry is really picked up. And with more and more retailers taking it even into tier 2 cities. So distribution has picked up, and sales have picked up. Rings continue to be very strong. And now women's self-purchase, because young women, Ashish was just saying, they are the customer, they are the consumer, and that is absolutely right. And they come into the stores and they choose for themselves. So I think all categories are looking good.
Vaishali, is pricing a point here as well, or do you think when investors come or buyers come down to buy platinum, is price a part, or is it because they want to own platinum? Is it the design? Is it the category? What really makes that decision making?
I think it's a combination. Jewelry, it's a very precious metal, right? So store of value has always been important. The value in the metal is great. And the price is at an extremely friendly price, I would say. The designs play a key role. We are talking to very, very young consumers. That is the core of platinum. The business is, they are young people who want to buy a piece of jewelry which is well designed, well finished. Technology plays a part. So all of this, but at the heart of it, the inherent value of the metal is also very key to it.
Oh, well, yes. When you look at platinum, it is more rarer than gold and silver. And yes, it has a very strong holding, doesn't get scratched. There are a lot of positives to that. I also want to understand on what is different that you're doing this Dhanteras. Is it online buying that people are going for? What age category are you targeting this time around?
So, for us, it's not only Dhanteras. This is the season, it's followed by wedding day, Christmas shopping. It is just a period of festivals and festivities. Right. So if you look at it, all three categories that exist, right now, whether it's women's jewelry through the brand Evara, or Men of Platinum, or Platinum Days of Love, which is really about your rings and engagement rings, wedding bands, anniversary bands. What we've seen is that, the consumer is celebrating, and jewelry has always been meaningful, and it has become more after COVID. So in this celebration, I think platinum plays a key role. So if you look at this quarter with weddings and so on, I think rings will drive it. Men of Platinum has been extremely successful. The designs, the product itself, and everything around the brand, it's been extremely successful. I think that will continue to pick up. As I mentioned before, the distribution is going, is growing. So
Okay.
that will deliver a good opportunity for our partners also. And Nivara, which is self-purchase, we have a beautiful new young designed collection, which will also be there for this quarter. So I think in totality, the summer fall will help energize the sector.
You know, Vaishali, I agree with you because I was talking to some other industry players as well, and they said, yeah, Dhanteras is just the beginning of it because you have Diwali and Christmas and New Year, and the season doesn't end there because you have wedding and Valentine. So yes,
Exactly.
So when you look at the next 2 quarters, what kind of growth can India expect?
So, we are very bullish because this year has been good, and this quarter we are really looking at least 25, maybe even 30% growth over last year. Last year was excellent. But all the sentiments and what we are seeing in the market, sort of says that this is the way we are headed. So it should be a very good quarter.
Well, the consumers are celebrating and the industry clearly enthusiastic there. Thank you so much, Vaishali, for joining in. So that's what we have put out in front of you. Digital gold to jewelry to platinum. Take your pick, make your Dhanteras and Diwali count, step out and buy that precious metal. But with that, that's all the time that we have on this special broadcast. More news and updates will continue right here on CNBC TV 18.